At First Rounds on Me, we believe that one real date is better than 100 pen pals. With our mobile dating app, we make it fun and easy for you to meet someone in person for a real date. See someone you're interested in? We help plan your date. Pick a drink, a time, a venue, and send that person a date invite. It's that simple. You only get one confirmed date per day. Give your full attention to one person at a time so you can actually get to know each other in person. Our key differentiators allow you to focus on what's most important: dating with intention and connecting with someone in person. Once your date is confirmed, you only get 12 hours to chat before your date starts. If you're tired of the endless small talk with pen pals on other dating apps, First Rounds on Me is for you.
Welcome back to Crowdsourcing Love. I have Cassidy Davis here today. How are you, Cassidy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I met you like a month and a half ago at your chaotic singles party.
Yes.
It was so fun.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had so much fun. And when I first walked in, you were being interviewed by the New York Post.
New York Times, yeah.
New York Times. Oh my God, why did I say Post?
No, you're fine.
New York Times.
Vibe.
Different. I mean, she's big time. And I love that you clarified because I would do the same exact thing. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I went up to you afterward and I was like, thank you for giving me that moment. She had her recorder out. I was like so nervous. And so I really appreciate you like being like, I'm going to talk to her after this.
Oh, yeah. I saw you with the reporter and I was like, she's in a moment and I'm not going to like intrude and tap you on the shoulder and be like, hey, Cassidy.
Hey, girl.
It's Marin. I finally made it. Like I have social awareness. Like
I know.
I am lacking other things, but social awareness I do have. So I would love to start out by just understanding your origin story.
Yeah.
How old are you though?
I'm 29.
You're 29.
Yeah.
So I'm 31.
Okay.
So we're like ballpark.
Yeah, we're basically the same.
Yeah, I love it. So can you talk about, where the chaotic singles party idea came from and then how it's evolved? I just, I'm so curious.
Yeah, for sure. So the idea came from just being super single in LA for a very long time. I was single for like 5 years. And I tried making it work with like, writers and actors and Uber drivers and magicians. And like nothing was really working for me. And
you were dating these people?
I was dating, yeah.
Okay.
And I just kind of got sick of it. So Valentine's Day of 2022, I told my single girlfriends to invite a random man off a dating app to my house. And I was just going to throw this like random first date house party. And then at the last minute, I panicked and invited 65 men off Tinder. And gave them all my personal address, which was like definitely the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Wait, why did you panic? Were like men not coming through or what was kind of the issue?
Yeah, we like had men confirmed and then it happened to be Super Bowl weekend and the Rams were in, LA Rams were in the Super Bowl that year. So men just started dropping like flies. I think some men got cold feet. And so my girlfriends were like, maybe we shouldn't do this party. Like maybe we should just this isn't worth it. And I was like, no, we're doing it. Like I was so determined.
You were convicted.
Yeah, I just felt like it was a special thing was about to happen. I don't know. So something in my gut was like, no, do this idea.
Yeah.
So I just went and I just swiped on every single guy who looked like fairly fun and normal and just invited them all to my house.
And just right away sent them a message like, here's my address. We're having a party. Come through.
Yeah.
And so they were all your matches originally. It wasn't everyone brought a match.
Some matches still came. I would say like maybe 10% of the guys were other girls' matches and like 90% were random yours. People that I brought.
So were they so disappointed when they got there? Because I know that you had a guy there that's very special who's not your boyfriend.
Yes.
So were they kind of upset that, you already were kind of spoken for?
Bait and switch. Well, I wasn't spoken for at that point yet. Like this guy who's now my boyfriend.
Yep.
And I had been on like one date together and I originally didn't even invite him because I was like, no, it has to be a random person off a dating app. That's like the whole idea.
Yeah.
But he was like, well, it sounds like you're inviting a lot of guys. Like you're going to want one there who will have your back if this goes badly.
Oh my God.
So I told the guys who I matched with, I was like, listen, I have a date, but you should come because a bunch of girls don't have dates. So I kind of like let them know that it was like a singles mixer. We're all like mingling together. Like a lot of them weren't just coming to like particularly meet me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So none of them.
So they understood that it was a party vibe.
Party vibe. I said everyone will be single. And so like 40 of them came and we had this like very fun party, very fun like house party. Like no one like robbed us or anything. It was like very cool and fun.
Yeah.
And then I put the TikToks up the next morning and they like blew up and got millions of views. And I was like,
you went viral.
In the news. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone was asking me to do another party. And so I rented out a venue that time because I wasn't going to like invite more people to my house.
Right. After going viral, you're like, okay, like let's make this a little safer.
A little safer. Yeah.
I understand.
And then I sold out that venue of 500 people in like 30 minutes and had a wait list of 900 people trying to get in.
Were you charging for those tickets?
I was charging like $5.
Oh no, you should have charged more.
Girl. I should have done a lot of things. I had no idea what was about to happen,
Yeah,
right?
you were
Like
just testing the
people go
waters.
viral, but you don't like I've gone viral before. I didn't really know what that meant in terms of converting it into like a business and converting it to
Yes,
money.
yes.
So I was just charging something to cover like the venue fee. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And then I did not expect it to sell out. I did not expect 900 people to want to, like, it was wild. And so after that party, I like kind of accidentally started this event planning business
Yeah.
of chaotic singles
a happy
parties.
accident.
A super happy accident.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So moving forward, you're continuing the events. You do them monthly.
Yes.
So what is like the main intention behind the event? Is it just to like bring people together for a fun party? Is it supposed to be like a dating mixer?
Yeah.
Like what is the goal?
It's definitely a dating mixer. Like the goal is that the parties will be a bar full of singles and around like 300 to 400 people come out every month. So instead of going on, a date every week, or like I know you did a date a day.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, you're going on like 50 dates kind of in one night. You're getting to mingle with people. You're getting to date with your friends. I feel like it's a safer, more inclusive environment because, a woman going alone to a bar at night to meet a random guy off a dating app can be a little scary.
Yeah.
These parties, you can show up with your girlfriends. It's very safe. And if you're not, vibing with someone, you move on.
Yep.
So the idea is definitely to meet people, whether you're meeting potential love matches or other single friends. Because I also find that like being a single girl can be lonely if all your friends are in relationships.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I'm hoping people find love through the chaos at the parties,
Yeah.
but they can be kind of whatever you want them to be.
I love that. So how many of the people come with their dating app match as like kind of like a fun first date?
Yeah, so the idea is that your ticket includes a +1. So the idea is you bring a random person off a dating app to meet you at the party, kind of keeping with the origin story.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about half the people bring a person off a dating app and about half of people bring just like a friend. I do think the people who bring a person off a dating app and like do the social experiment have a
Yeah.
lot more success.
Okay.
And because I think they're finding a like-minded person. Like if you're attracted to this party
Mhm.
and you match with someone and you invite him and
Mhm.
he's down,
Yeah.
you kind of are already on a similar wavelength in a cool
Yes.
way,
Yeah.
And so I think you're kind of setting yourself up for a real connection there. But we mix and mingle at the party anyway. I kind of make you guys play games like
Yeah.
you saw. So
Yeah.
even if you don't come with a dating app match, you'll end up like talking to hopefully a lot of the people there.
Have you ever had like a big drama where like somebody brings somebody from a dating app and then the guy who they brought met somebody else at the party? Like, have you had any of that go down?
Not really. I think everyone who comes to the party knows that like in the name it's chaotic singles. So it's
Yeah.
going to be chaotic. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
And if you're like territorial or like weird about your date, that's like totally not the vibe. So I think
Okay.
people know that.
I'm a Scorpio, so I'm like, you know what I mean? I get a little territorial. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what if I brought this hot guy, I think we're vibing, and then I turn around and he's like hitting it off with another girl?
Yeah.
With that being said, it's like all is fair in love and war. What am I going to do? Like,
I know. Well, that's why it's like your first date. So you're like I wouldn't bring someone to the party that you've been like on 4 dates with and you think you have a really deep connection with.
Yeah.
Like the idea is you're bringing someone for your first date. So if you lose them to the singles, you're kind of like, well, we've talked for like an hour. Like how much of my time was I wasting,
yeah, that's actually true.
Or if you keep them, then they were really meant to be,
Totally. That makes complete sense. So you also have a confession booth. Is
Yeah.
that something that you still do at every party?
Yeah, I still do them. I kind of like switch them around every party a little bit.
Okay.
But the confessional booth is what went viral with that first TikTok because I put my phone in my bathroom.
Okay.
And I told everyone at the party to go into the bathroom and tell the phone like who you're crushing on and who you're vibing with.
Oh, I love that.
And I mainly did that because I wanted to see if the guy I invited, who's not my boyfriend, liked me.
Did he confess to the phone that he liked you?
He did.
What did he say?
He said, I put it on TikTok too because I was like, the world needs to know.
Yeah. You're like, you're marking your territory.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yep.
just was like, this man likes me, as if I'm like in middle school. But he said that I was like one of the coolest girls he's met in LA in a long time. But he hasn't lived in LA that long, and I guess in my defense. But yeah, he confessed to that. And so after that went viral, I've continued like the confessional moment at each party where like I put my phone in a private area, and the goal is you can go into the confessional booth, tell me who you're crushing on, who you're vibing with, and I put it up on TikTok, and it helps people kind of like find like misconnections. Like if you watch the video afterward and they're like,
Oh,
I
that's
loved
cool.
Joe. If Joe is
Yeah.
watching, he'd be like, oh my God. And I often get a lot of DMs from people like Joe being like, who's the girl in the yellow top? Like, I need to find her.
Yes.
And then I'm like sleuthing to find her
Oh my
to try
God.
to connect
So
them.
you're like a little Cupid out here.
I try, you know?
Oh my God, I love that. What's been like a crazy confession or the craziest confession? I'm sure
Oh my
you have a
gosh.
few.
I get that question a lot. One of my favorite confessionals is there are two. One of my favorite confessionals is one of the girls brought in the bouncer from the venue into the confessional booth, and they were like making out in there. And he was like, after they did
Oh
this,
my God,
like,
I'm obsessed.
it was so funny.
Yeah.
After they did this like very steamy, like hot confession, they were like making out. He like turns to the camera and he's like, oh yeah, and I work here. And I was like, wait, what? Like, he's the bouncer
I love
who like
it.
left the door to like make out with this girl, which was iconic. My other favorite one is one of the girls invited her Jimmy John's delivery driver to the
Okay.
party. So he like delivered Jimmy John's to her right before she left. And she was like, are you single? You're hot. And he was like, yeah. And so she's like, you should come to this chaotic singles party. And
Oh
then
my God.
she invited him, like sent him the address and everything. And then he didn't show up. So she did this like very mean confessional being like, fuck him. Like, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah, you
She's
can.
like, fuck him. Like, he's the worst. Like, I like fuck that guy. And then like 5 minutes later he shows up. And so then she brings him into the confessional booth. She's like, never mind, I love him. Like,
I'm
he's so hot.
sorry. I take it back. I rescind that. That's so funny.
It was so funny. I was obsessed.
Have you had any marriages yet?
Oh my God. Marriages will no, because it's only about a year and a half old. So I think if
Okay.
someone got married, I mean, that would be chaotic and I would so be in love with that.
You'd
but
endorse it.
I would totally enforce
Yeah.
it. But I did have a couple just moved in together that met at the
Oh,
parties.
Did they like tell you? Were they like, thank you?
Oh yeah. No, anytime there's a success story, they're like always like sending me photos and DMing me and being like, we met at the party. And
I
it's
feel
like
like-
makes my whole life.
I feel like in a few years, you're going to have people messaging you being like, we named our kid after you. Or just like something like, we named our dog after you.
I would die. I really want to go to the weddings because I feel like that'd be so fun.
Honestly, that'd be great content too.
True.
Yeah.
That would be really great
It
content.
would be. One of the things you do at the chaotic singles party is you play chaotic bingo.
Yeah.
What is chaotic bingo? Because I played it and I like got like defensive because this man came up to me and he was like, when's the last time you had sex? And I was like, that's none of your business. And then he's like, no, it's part of the game. And I was like, oh, sorry. Like, so like, what is this game?
Yeah.
And tell us all about it.
Yeah. So chaotic bingo, you get it at check-in desk and it's
Okay.
basically like a bingo board and all the squares on the bingo board are different things you have to like ask someone.
Mhm.
The idea is it's an icebreaker and you kind of
Yes.
get to know people. You're like going through the bar to try to get bingo. You have to like ask people these questions.
Yep.
Because it's chaotic, I like to make some of the questions like find the person who has the same astrology sign as you,
That's
find
fun.
someone who lives in the same neighborhood as you, you know,
Mhm.
that kind of thing to like, you know, get mingling going. But I also just like am a chaotic queen and I love to like put some spicy ones on there.
Oh,
like,
yeah. You threw some curveballs in there. Yeah.
Because I just think it's like fun and interesting to like see reactions. And
Totally.
those are questions that like low key I would want to know on a first date, but I'm not brave enough to ask. But
Yeah.
like I would want to know the last time you had sex. Like,
Mm.
not that it would change my mind, but if it was last night, it would just, you know, help me navigate that
It would
conversation
gross
a little
me
better.
out. I hate when guys talk to me about the other people that they've dated. I don't like it. I'm not their therapist. I'm not their friend. I'm their date.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a weird move. I feel like that often happens on a first date in a way to like try to connect with you. Like, they're like,
Yes.
you're so cool. My last dates weren't. And let me tell you about
Yes,
them.
And let me talk shit. And it's
I'm
like,
like,
okay.
I get that.
Boring.
Yeah, it's like I'm not your friend. I'm here to like connect with you. I feel like there's a time and place to like talk about exes and talk about your past if that's something you want to do with this person, but bringing up other dates is always a weird move.
Yeah. I've also had guys show me like their past girlfriends' Instagrams, especially if like they were models. And I'm like, thank you so much for showing me how pretty of a girl you can date. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this information?
Literally
It's
though.
so weird.
Like on a first date or when?
Yeah, I think it was a first date.
That's
recently.
weird.
And I was like, like, what are we doing here?
This is a thing. I feel like some single straight men get confused when they're on a date with a woman and like think that they're on a date with their guy friend, and they when it comes into like bragging territory or like
Yes.
showing Instagrams or like that sort of thing, I'm like, are you confused? Like, I'm not your bro. Like, this
Yeah.
isn't impressive to me. Like,
don't
I'm not
stunt
into
on
this.
me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it has the opposite effect. Like, I think you're trying to like maybe brag or like trying to like
Yes.
make yourself look like you have more clout or something. But right now you're kind of grossing me out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as guys when they put like photos of like them in a club with like club girls on their dating
Yes.
profiles.
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
God.
you're confusing me for someone I'm not. Like, I'm not your bro. I look at that and I think not great thoughts. And you're
Same.
thinking I look at that and I'm like, this guy fucks.
So, okay, talk to me about your boyfriend. Like, he's been supportive of you. I even saw he went on TV with you.
Yeah.
So he really supports you, because something that I worry about being in the public eye and dating
Mm-hmm.
so publicly is like a lot of the men who I think I would want to be with, like they are not into it. And because I have the spotlight on that part of my life, they're just like, you seem great, but for those reasons I'm out.
Yeah.
Does your boyfriend embrace it, or how does he handle kind of the public nature of all of it?
Yeah, it's definitely tricky. It's not for everyone. So I get, some people kind of bowing out when they know it's not for them. My boyfriend is very supportive of the parties. He knows it's like my business. He knows it's my passion really to like help people find love.
Yeah.
So he's very, very supportive of it. With that being said, we have like very honest conversations about boundaries, about things that I do and don't post, about things I do and don't talk about publicly. Like I am very protective of him and like very protective of his like, feelings and comfort level. And he's like not a social media guy at all. Like he's a private Instagram. I think he has like 9 posts, which for me is like a green flag. I love that.
Such a green flag.
I love that.
Like, give me more of those men.
I know. Yep. So he's like that kind of guy. So I am not trying to like blow up his spot. So he's very supportive kind of like from afar, like behind closed doors. He's like incredibly supportive. He doesn't come to the events anymore just because he's not a single guy and it's a dating event. So he feels a little bit uncomfortable like being at a singles mixer as a non-single man, you know?
Because I'm sure he would get hit on left and right, and then he's just like the whole time explaining like I'm with her,
Totally.
Silly.
Yeah, so he is a little bit uncomfortable, but like behind closed doors, he's like picking me up, dropping me off at the venues, like helping me with all the things. Very, very supportive. And like the TV interview was like way beyond his comfort level, and like he really went out on a limb for me on that one.
I love that.
And I was really, really grateful for, because he basically has been like, I'm here for it, but I don't want to be on camera or like in any of your TikToks, or he's like, I really don't love that. So I just don't make him a part of my content. And he kind of, it's just this like lovely human who helps me behind the scenes and like supports me as a human.
I love that.
Outside of the work.
Like he's a really good partner. Even with me, I feel as though when I meet my person, if they're not like public facing, that's fine with me. Like even if I get married to someone and they're like, Marin, I never want to be like publicly put like in a picture or go on your podcast or whatever, I would respect that because I want something real. And I don't want just somebody who like wants the clout.
Totally.
But if they're in the spotlight too, or if they like that, I'm fine with that too. Like I'm not, I'm very open.
I think there's something nice about like if I like he doesn't enjoy the spotlight, so I get all of it. Like it's kind of nice.
So now you're sponsored by Tinder.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
When people hear Tinder, they're like, oh my God, she made it. What was it like getting that sponsorship? Did they reach out to you? Can you give us some of like the behind the scenes with that?
Yeah, for sure. So I like starting as an event, like starting this business kind of accidentally, I started just like cold emailing sponsors like left, right, and center. Like, no one's gonna help me but myself. So I was trying to get my name out there. I was trying to like use any press that I got as like leverage opportunities. And so I emailed them like a million times, like just trying to really get their attention. But they're, Tinder. They're the Amazon of dating apps. They are the creme de la creme. So, they weren't always responding or whatever. But one day I finally got that email back and they were like, we've been reading about you. We actually love what you're doing. And we're trying to host like IRL dating events and we'd love to partner with you. And so like getting that email was incredible because it just felt like a lot of hard work had finally paid off. And I had felt like for a long time I was meant to partner with one of the big dating apps to like help work together with the same goal, right? Helping people find love. That's Tinder's whole thing. And so I was like, I feel like there's an amazing partnership that can be happening here. And so getting that email was just amazing. And they've been incredible to work with.
That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. And even for me, like a lot of people see partnerships I do, and like sometimes they're reaching out to me, but sometimes I'm reaching out to them. And as like a businesswoman, like you just have to hustle and you have to put yourself out there. And so if anyone's listening and they're like interested in like being in this space or even like building a brand or a company, there's just a lot of like checking your ego at the door and reaching out to people and seeing if there could be interest and seeing if there could be a good value proposition. So that's really cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have any other like dream brands that you hope to work with?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Well, I'm hosting the event this weekend at the Moxie Hotel in Williamsburg.
Love the Moxie.
I love the Moxie. The more I get to know the Moxie, I'm like, we are like soul sisters, just in terms of like the brand vibe that they have. They're like chaotic and incredible. So I would like love to keep working with them. There's a time in my life where I was trying to get a condom brand to sponsor the events.
Yeah. Yeah, it's spicy. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like,
it goes hand in hand.
A singles event sometimes can lead to love, sometimes can lead to a fun night.
And you should practice safe
and
sex.
Should always practice safe sex.
Yes.
So I was looking at those brands for a minute too. But I think like, I mean, to be honest, like Tinder was my dream brand for a really long time. So I'm kind of just like enjoying this chapter.
It.
Yeah.
Look at me, just always like, I'm like, what's next?
No,
like,
I
tell
love
me, like,
it.
let's keep manifesting bigger. But like you have Tinder.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's now on your portfolio and resume. And that's so cool, dude. That's so
you.
amazing.
Yeah. It's been awesome.
So you're also an actress?
Yeah.
So tell me more about that side of you.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
because there's an actor strike right now.
Yes.
Are you impacted by it?
Yes. Yeah. I'm a member of SAG, so I'm on strike as well. So yeah, I moved out to LA to primarily do acting and producing like 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I've been pursuing that actively. I have an amazing manager in that space, and we've been working together for a little bit now. But with the strike and everything's kind of been put on hold for the foreseeable future. So we're kind of on pause right now, but I'm hoping to leverage, the singles parties and leverage them back into entertainment, which is like what I came to LA to do in the first place.
Yep.
That's definitely like my first love, and like what I hope long term to be able to like really dive into, of course, once we get what we need from the strike.
Yeah. And if we can just talk about the strike for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes, maybe
Absolutely.
5, we'll see. What do you guys need?
Yeah, so it's a lot of things. I'm definitely not like the best person to speak on this. Like there's a lot more, there's a lot of people who are much higher up in SAG and who can phrase this better. But in terms of what we're looking for is protection. So, last time SAG negotiated a contract, streamers weren't a thing, Netflix wasn't a thing, and actors make a lot of their money on residuals. So like the Friends cast, for example, makes a certain amount of money per episode that Friends show airs, right?
Yep.
And then they make residuals. So every time every time Friends airs, they get a check for a certain amount of money.
Yes.
And
they
that's
make like millions of dollars a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of actors make money, residuals. That is like our saving grace, because you don't make a ton of money per day that you shoot. So you make it back in residuals, or you make it back in the back end.
Okay.
And with Netflix and all those things having, taken over the space in a really beautiful way, Netflix doesn't really pay a ton of money in residuals. They also don't release their data on how many people are watching the TV show. Whereas like NBC.
Podcasting, where it's like mysterious.
It's mysterious.
One knows. Yeah.
Exactly. Whereas like NBC or like any of the main, networks that were prominent during like the Friends era, for example, they have to release that data. So they know exactly how many people were watching Friends each night. They know exactly how much money Jennifer Aniston was owed, right?
Yeah.
Netflix doesn't release that data. I don't know if they ever will, but that's one of the things that the actors are striking for is protection and against the residuals, because now those actors that, are on The Bear, for example, aren't even making enough money to be able to afford a lifestyle outside of shooting, which is crazy. They shoot that show for a few months and then they all go back to being waiters. Like that's ludicrous. You know what I mean? So they're fighting for that. They're also fighting for protection against AI, because AI is now kind of taking over every major space.
Yeah.
And we're looking for protection in that, like, you can't just like copy my face and voice and use that for eternity in every motion picture without paying me a certain fee.
Wow.
So it's job protection overall.
It's really an intense time, and it's just so interesting because entertainment, it really is a really lucrative industry.
It can be.
It can be, but it's just like strange to me that like you see the execs at the top making like so much money. And by the way, like, like they worked for it. Like they're at the top of the food chain. Sure, give them a lot of money, but do they need that level? Like, I don't know. I am a capitalist, but with that being said, it's not fair to just completely snub the people who are creating the actual content.
Totally. And I think that
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that like, and that dichotomy is so vast. That difference is so vast that's the problem, right? Like the executives do a lot of work, 100%, and they should be compensated for that work, 100%. But if they're making millions and this actor has to go back to being a waiter in between, like,
or they don't have health insurance, or they
can't
don't
afford
have
health insurance.
their basic needs aren't being met. Like that is a problem,
right? And that's kind of what we're fighting for. It's not the Meryl Streeps or the Kevin Harts of the world that are being impacted by
We're
this.
not worried about them.
They're doing great.
Yeah.
It's the everyday actor who, should be able to make enough of a living to pay their rent and like afford meals, and they're not able to because of how much money they're making. And that's a problem.
It sucks too, because businessmen have business-minded minds, and creatives oftentimes they just enjoy making art. They want to create what they want to create, and so they're not always as business savvy. And then that's why all of a sudden you look at it and you're like, oh shit, like there's this like huge dichotomy between the business people in the industry and the people who are actually creating the content that's being sold.
Totally.
It's just nuts.
It's really crazy.
Okay, thank you for talking about that.
Yeah,
'Cause
of
I
course.
was curious and I wanted to, touch on it, but I don't know many actors.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. So like what would your like dream role be? Do you want to be like a Meryl Streep, or like what are you looking for?
Yeah. My dream would be to like sell a show that I'm in, like an Issa Rae Insecure
Oh,
situation.
cool. Yeah.
I like look up to a lot of women who make and star in their own
Like Mindy
stuff.
Kaling.
Like Mindy
Oh,
Kaling.
I love her.
Oh my God, she's
Yes.
such a boss. Like those kind of people, like getting to tell a story and get creative control over that story in some capacity, but then also getting to represent myself in that story would be amazing. So that would be the dream.
Okay. Well, we're manifesting for you.
Manifesting.
Okay, that makes sense. So when it comes to dating apps,
Mhm.
I have a new game. It's called Ick or Lick.
Okay.
It's an ick if you don't like it. It's lick if you like it.
Wait, I love this name so
Thank
much.
you. I thought of it on a date with a guy who we only went on 2 dates with, but out of that date,
Came a great idea.
I created this name.
Shout out
So,
this man.
Yeah, shout out. He then later tried to booty call me, so he's still in trouble.
Ick.
But that's an ick. Thank you. You're getting the game
Not a
already.
lick.
As not a lick. How about like the shirtless pictures where the guy is like taking the mirror selfie? Is that an ick or is that a lick?
That's an ick for me.
Why?
I feel like if you're that body conscious, if you're that like worried about what you look like, then you're going to be that worried about what I look like. And
yep.
that makes me feel insecure and like not safe. And I feel like I can't like curl up on the couch in a baggy t-shirt and eat Chinese food with you because you're going to be like shaking your protein shake in my face. And I just am not into it.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I don't want you to like be like, oh babe, you need to lose 5 pounds.
Fuck
I can't do that.
that.
Actually, no, I'm acting like a guy has said this to me. It's never been said to
Okay,
me.
I was about to fight someone.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like not into it.
No, I feel like some guys are into that. And I'm like, if that's what you're looking for, then I'm not that person. I'm more fun.
I think, but I do think that there is, you said this in another podcast I was researching, you.
Oh my God.
There's a butt. No, there's a seat for every butt.
There is a seat for every butt.
So, that shirtless guy with the mirror picture, he's going to find somebody who's going to be like obsessed with a fit guy. She's going to be like,
Totally.
I'm also fit. Like, let's go work out together. And that's
Totally.
beautiful.
And that's beautiful for them. They can shake their protein shakes together.
Exactly. I agree. How about Amy Schumer?
Oh my God. These are such, I like how the range of the ick and lick.
Oh, I have range, baby.
Okay, I'm going to lick Amy Schumer. I know
Okay.
that a lot of people have weird opinions on her, but
She's kind of controversial.
she is kind of
I like
controversial
her
in like a
too.
weird way. I'm
Yeah.
not sure why. I think she's funny and fun and like has made some really fun content and really great shows. And like
Yes,
she's
I
a
agree.
girl who goes after what she wants and stars in stories that she makes. It's literally like
Your
what I
dream.
hope to follow in her footsteps.
I love Trainwreck.
I think it's
love
so
that movie.
funny.
It's so fucking iconic.
I know. I don't get why
I wanna
people
watch
don't
it right
find
now.
funny. I know.
Yeah.
I think she's hilarious.
Okay.
She was also one of the first women I knew who like talked about like vaginal liquids in comedy. And
Yeah.
I was like, so just like, I'm like, thank you for talking about this. We all just like don't talk about
Yes.
women's sexual health enough. And this, she did it in such a funny, fun way that I was like, this is dope.
Yeah. No, she's so brave. I love her. But I hate when people call her brave when they're referring to her body.
Yeah.
I'm more so talking about like her content. Like
Totally.
she's willing to go there.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some dating apps. So
Okay.
Tinder.
I mean, lick.
I mean, duh. What do you like the most about Tinder?
What do I like the most about Tinder? I mean, I love the people I work with within Tinder. They are so fun.
Yeah.
And very kind and very, very supportive. I think that's what I like most about it. I mean, also their logo's really cute. I got it on my nails.
Honestly, your nails are very cool. I was staring at them. Like my nails are falling apart, but we won't talk about that.
What do you say? Acrylic?
I say lick because I know people globally who use Tinder.
Oh yeah.
I think people don't realize that a lot of the dating apps in America are only in the US.
Yeah.
And so I think Tinder is one of the major ones that is global.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of love stories, a lot of people who have met their person on Tinder. I think
Totally.
that like at one point it used to have like a bad rap for just being a hookup app, but I think that it can obviously, everything is what you make it.
Totally.
So yeah.
No, I know a lot of people who have found love on Tinder, and the Tinder passport thing is so dope that you can
What's
just
that?
you can. I mean, I haven't used it personally because I haven't been single when they had this, but because I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Just bring that up in every
bragging.
sentence.
Like every other. So my boyfriend. Yeah.
My boyfriend would say Seth Rogen is a lick.
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
You should. Okay, but like I can't be like I'm gonna lick your boyfriend too because that sounds dirty.
No, I mean you can.
Okay, but just in this context of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, going back to Tinder passport.
I think that means that you can like say that you can set your location to Paris and be swiping on Paris singles.
Oh, cool.
So you can kind of like travel within the Tinder app. But I know a lot of people use it when they travel, like as a solo traveler. They'll go to like Barcelona, they download Tinder, and then they go on a date, and then that date ends up being like a friend or a tour guide.
Yeah.
And they get to kind of experience the city with the locals. So I think the fact that it's global, like you said, is a huge, amazing feature that they have.
That's cool. Okay, what do you think of Hinge?
Hinge, I would say, is also a lick.
Okay.
I used Hinge a lot when I was single. I felt like it had a good clientele in terms of like people I'd meet on there. But you have to use the more you use the app, the better the matches you get, right?
Is that it?
I think so. I think that's like Hinge's thing.
Yeah.
And that kind
I think the algorithm like picks up. I know some people who've had to like delete their Hinge because they've had no matches. And if that is you, it's not you. It's literally a glitch in the system.
Yeah.
I've had like multiple men come to me and they're like, what's wrong with me? Like, do women think I'm ugly? And like I post their pictures because they give me permission, and everyone's like, no, tell him like I'll go on a date with him. And I'm like, re-upload the app or like delete it and re-download it.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Totally. I will say that like Hinge has been the most humbling of apps. Like the guys who like me on that or in my
I've been humbled too.
I'm like, no.
I think dating apps can be humbling in general.
I mean, as a whole. 100%.
Yeah.
What do you think? Are you ick or lick?
I'm lick on Hinge.
Okay.
I probably, like, if I'm going to be completely transparent, I probably get the most dates out of Hinge.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's just kind of like Instagram, the app.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always a new fun social media app, but then you kind of go back to Hinge or like Tinder even.
Totally.
I would say the big three to me are Hinge, Tinder, and Bumble.
Yeah.
So the next question, ick or lick Bumble? What are your thoughts?
I lick because it's a female founder, and females in business, I can't ick them.
We support women.
We support women.
Yep.
So I love that. I think it's kind of fun that it's the woman makes the first move. I always was panicked by that because I was like, what do I say? But then I was like, I guess this is how men feel, you know, in a straight dating app setting.
That's true. I never thought of it like that.
That was kind of humbling, but yeah, I'm a lick. Also, like I've listened to a podcast recently on her marketing, how she got Bumble off the ground, and I was like, that's a badass right there.
Wait, I need to listen to that.
You knew.
Podcast. It's called Her Marketing.
Oh no! It's like how the founder of Bumble did her marketing.
But what's the podcast called?
Oh,
you can't remember. Oh, that's okay. We'll look it up.
I was
later.
A clip. Yeah.
Okay. I like the Bumble friendship feature.
Oh
Bumble
yeah.
BFF. But I don't like the dating app part.
Okay.
Just because I don't like to make the first move. And I know so many women who go onto Bumble and then they like all they say is hi, and it just seems silly.
I know.
Like,
I think you have to like actually use it. You know what I mean?
But then I also hate like as a woman being like, fuck, marry, kill, tacos, spaghetti, or ice cream. And like it's just like so stupid. Like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Like I can't play that game anymore. Like I've like as a single person, if I have to play fuck, marry, kill, like any type of cuisine one more time, I'm gonna scream.
I know. No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a common date. That's such a common intro. I think I have an ick to that intro, I think.
I have an ick to that intro. What other dating apps are there?
There's From. First round's on me.
Okay, so ick or lick?
I mean, lick. I feel like they're good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also lick. I like that it's just like efficient.
I know. I'm always like, let's get to it.
Yeah. So like I have ADD and I need to like if the whole point of the app is that you just have to like agree to a date, a place, and a time right away.
Yeah.
And for me, that's chef's kiss. Like I don't want to say like, hey, what's up? How's your weekend? Like how many siblings do you have? Like again, I've been single for a while. Like I can't have these small talk conversations much longer.
They get old after a while.
They do.
I think that's why like my biggest lick when I was single in an opening message was just something different. Like something I hadn't heard before. Like not the fuck, marry, kill. Not the, you know, sometimes I liked when they said something personal about my profile because I was like, cool, you took the time.
They give you
to,
a
like,
compliment.
Look through that and give me a very specific like opening line. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it just got like everyone was kind of doing the same thing over and over again. And so anyone that like stood out to me was always very attractive because it was like, oh, you're different. Like, let's pursue this for a little bit.
My favorite opening line is literally when a guy says, "Hey, Marin, hope you're doing well. Can I take you to dinner?" Or they don't even have to wish me well. They could say, "Hey, Marin, I'd love to take you to drinks. Are you free this week?"
I love that. But are you
God.
ick or lick?
Hot.
Very hot. Initiative, hot. Ick or lick, drinks over dinner. Which do you prefer?
I think a first date should just be drinks.
I agree.
Or coffee. Like, I don't want to do a whole dinner.
Yeah.
I think a first date, like, honestly, I've had so many experts on, but I'm convinced now that it should only be a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like, max, because you don't want that false sense of intimacy.
Oh, yeah?
Because oftentimes when I go on a marathon date, the guy tries to sleep with me at the end of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole point of marathon dates.
Yeah. I know, because after 6 hours and then it gets to that point where you're like, well, this was really fun and I want to keep the fun going.
Yeah.
And like, this is now what's on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those can be really tricky.
Hookup culture, ick or lick?
Like that people just hook up.
Yeah. Like some people are like, I love hookup culture. It's 2023. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And some people are like sick of hookup culture because I think a lot of people leave disappointed because, you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
It doesn't lead to anything real.
Yeah. That's a tricky one. I guess I'm ick because anytime I'd had a one night stand, I didn't necessarily leave feeling great or like leave feeling like happy that I did it.
Yeah.
It was more that I did it because of, you know, being in a dry spell or wanting connection or, you know, just enjoying the night and kind of seeing where it takes me in the morning, waking up and being like, ugh, you know, like false sense of intimacy. Like
false sense of intimacy. And then the guy doesn't text you
right
when he says he's going to text you.
Yeah.
And then as a woman, it can lead to a spiral. Sometimes as a woman, though, it leads to literally like you don't even care.
I know.
So it's like so individual.
I know. I think like the reason I feel like that one's tricky is just because I feel like as a woman or as a human, like you should be able to have sex with the person you're dating whenever you want. And I don't love this like stigma that like you shouldn't have sex with them too soon because then they'll lose interest or like you shouldn't have sex with them too early. Like all those like sex rules of like do and don't, I don't love because I'm like I want to have sex with them whenever I want to have sex with them.
Yeah.
And if they're the right person, they won't leave after they have sex with me.
So it's kind of like Tinks's box theory where she's like you can't mess it up because they put you in a box or something.
Yeah. I feel like you can't do anything to mess it up if it's the right person.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just puts so much pressure on women to be the deciding factor of whether we are or are not having sex. And I think that's an unfair pressure to put on us because it's like all up to me whether this entire relationship goes well based on whether I say yes or no to sex. Like that I always found to be incredibly unfair.
I love that you bring that up because it is a weird pressure.
And
of the
so
woman
much on your
who's seen the relationship.
Or the pressure could be on the man to not be an asshole. And like after we have sex, if you don't want to see me again, you can just be honest about that. You don't have to ghost me. Or, you know, don't have sex with someone that you don't see a future with. Like there's a way to be honest and like cool about that whole interaction. And I feel like the way society puts it right now, it's all on you to figure it out and navigate it. And like if they ghost you after sex, it's your fault. For having sex too early. And I'm like, fuck that. It's the person who's ghosting me's fault for being a pussy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, true. And like if they ghost you, like you don't want them anyways.
True.
And not everyone's meant for each other. And I always am like, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah.
So just like chill out, relax, and like enjoy the ride because that's all you can do. We're running out of time. So before we go, I would love to hear your biggest piece of dating advice, your dating mantra. You know, you're in a relationship, so like please help my followers and myself. We need help.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say my biggest piece of dating advice is to like truly lean into the chaos of all the dating stuff. And I know that's like so like on brand for me to say.
No, I
but
love it.
I really do like believe so strongly in that. The more you lean into it, the more you get out of it. And like whatever the chaos means to you, whether it means going to a singles event, whether it means, you know, going out with a guy who you normally wouldn't go out with just to see what happens. I think we get stuck in the monotonous of everyday life of go to work, go to gym, go home, go to work, go to gym, go home. And you're expected to meet the love of your life in that monotony. Monotony. And I just don't think that's how it works a lot of the time. And like the reason I met my boyfriend at a bar is because I chaotically approached him and then a few months later, went to an event that I normally would have never been at, but I was there because one thing led to another, and I'm now at this rave in a downtown warehouse that I had no business being at.
Yeah.
And the reason I think I was there and ran into him is because I just was like saying yes to the chaos, or saying yes to a lot of things in life, and I was getting myself out of this boring day to day. So I would say, like, just lean into it and like enjoy it, and
Enjoy it.
don't just try to get through it, you know?
Yeah, like it's like life really is a journey, and like there's no such thing as a destination.
Yeah.
So like every step of the way, I love it. That's
Yeah.
really nice advice. Thank you. I don't know why I use the adjective nice, but I had to tell you something though.
Oh, yeah?
So tonight I'm going on a date with a guy I met
At the chaotic singles.
at the chaotic
Shut up!
at the chaotic singles party.
Wait, what? You
Can't believe
waited
it.
till now to tell me this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What if this is the love of your life?
I don't know. If he is, like, you'll be at the wedding.
I better
so
officiate it.
You'll.
bitch.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
honestly, I would love that. So,
I'm just kidding.
all right. Well,
No, I'm
thank you so much, Cassidy. Where
Yeah.
can people find you? Tell us all about what you have coming up. You've
Yeah.
been so fun to have on. So again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much for having me. I am Cassidy Nash Davis on all social media, and you can always go to chaoticsinglesparty.com to see when the next singles party is.
Yay. Well, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye. Thanks again to our sponsor, First Rounds on Me. If you're tired of endless small talk with an overwhelming number of pen pals, go download First Rounds on Me now and get yourself a real date.